The International Dortmund Chess Days 2024 are over, and we have a new winner, a little surprise winner, International Master Nico Zwirs. Congratulations for your tournament win.
Yeah, thank you. I'm also a little bit surprised, but it was it all ended very well.
Yeah,
so
it's a massive achievement. Maybe it's the biggest win of your chess career, or?
Yeah, I think it's the biggest win. I don't think it's the highest performance rating, but still the biggest win. So it's very nice.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Which were the decisive moments in the tournament? I mean, today's game, of course, we will look in a minute, but...
Good question. Yeah, I think I had a relatively slow start.
Okay.
So at some point in, I don't know, around 6, I beat Gerlev Mainz.
Yes,
which was
International Master from Germany, yeah.
Yeah, it was a confident boost, and then I had to play black against Korobov.
Yeah.
And I think that was, for me, the turnaround game where I survived a bad position, even got a winning position, and it ended in a draw.
Yeah.
And that gave me a big boost to play such a game.
Also for self-confidence after this game against Anton,
for sure. Yeah.
Yes, because Anton was the favorite of the tournament, and you already had him at the verge of losing. It was a great game to watch. Yeah. And today you got another 2600 Grandmaster Christopher Wojin Yoo. How did you went into the game? Do you wanted to play for a win at all costs, or what was your idea for today?
Well, actually, I asked one of my friends about it because in the past I had the tendency just to play it a bit more solid, and normally I don't win tournaments like those. Yeah. So I asked his friend, it's Max Warmerdam. He won here, I think, 2
years ago. He won our tournament. Yes.
Yeah. So he said to me okay. Just in all cases, this is a big chance. Go for it. Don't be scared of those guys. You can beat them if you have a good day. If not, also draw is a possibility. And secondly, if you play 2600, even when you play with white, they will try to beat you.
Yep.
So, I basically had no chance, and just to play.
Good help from Max Warmerdam.
Yeah, it was some good advice and a good boost.
Okay.
But the game didn't went that well in the start. I mean, he played a bit of
complicated night of variation in the opening.
Yeah, he played a suspicious line, but I couldn't remember the exact way of punishing it. And then I got into a slightly worse position, which I think is we have here.
Went into the middle game or the Endgame nearly, and he made a little bit of pressure at the queen side.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I was at this point, a little bit relieved because I think very often, at some point, I played knight d5 and I took with the pawn. And I think very often play shifts at that point. So very often white starts playing on the queen side and black with f5 on the king side.
Yes.
So also before, I think he had some options to put the rook on f4, play f5, and I think he should have focused on the king side.
Okay.
But now he starts to focus on the queen side. Still, he's a bit better, but I'm still alive, and I finally get some counterplay too.
Yeah, okay, you at h6, like AlphaZero told us a few years ago. And
of course.
This pawn will be very important later on in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
And
here I had to choose, because at first I wanted to play queen g5, queen here, and I was at this point still playing for draw, so I was considering let's take and try to bring a rook to e4. But still rook f4
and a bit of pressure.
Yeah, for sure. So I decided, maybe let's bring the rook first and see what happens. I mean, he can play b4, but I don't think it's too scary.
Okay, so you prepared it with rook c8?
Yeah. Yeah, still it's not like a big preparation, b4 and then what?
And now you had a very nice defensive move, but which was active,
Yeah, so I can still go back to my previous plan and now play rook e4 and try to stabilize. But I also had another idea in mind, and that was the very cool move rook d4, trying to exchange it, and if possible I can play f4.
Yeah,
and
very nice move, just to show.
Yeah.
Oh. Was wrong. Rook d4.
Yeah, indeed. If he takes, it's checkmate. Also, if he takes with the rook, it seems a little bit scary here, but actually there is no threat at all. My next move, okay, I'm threatening to take.
To take on e5, yeah.
Not with the queen, because then there's a checkmate, but if he wants to open my king, let's say a4, I can simply follow it up by a3,
okay.
Have some air for the king, and this is looking good. So now I'm really fighting back, and he played the move b4.
Yes.
And at first I thought that this is a huge mistake.
Okay.
Because my first intention was queen g5, with the idea queen f6.
Go for the mate, yeah.
Checkmate him. And if he plays queen d8, exchange and simply win the rook. But the problem is that he can take the rook, and not with the pawn, because then there's queen f6 and it's still mate because he can't run away. But he can take with the rook, give this check. And now, if my queen goes to f6, there's a checkmate on c1.
Yes.
So he can simply take on d4, and I think this is losing for me.
All right, yeah.
So, okay, means I think I have to take. And also here, queen g5 is tempting and has to be calculated, but I think he can just take on c3. He can always try to run away. In this case, I can take on d6 and it's good for me, but he simply has a check.
Check, okay.
Takes with check, pawn check, and I think I will be checkmated. So I still had to hang on with rook c1. Now it's getting interesting. I mean, he has some options, and in the end he decided to take. Still queen g5 is now a massive threat, so he has to
do something, okay.
Yeah. So he took.
You took.
Took back. He gave a check.
And that was a chance for him to get it raw if he wants to. Yeah, with queen g2 and like he did, queen g2.
Yeah, but of course, I mean, he's a half point down. So to also finish quite high, he has to.
If he wants to go to the first three of the tournament, he has to win today. So
yeah, so he was still pushing, and I was also low on time. So rook b8 was a nice try. So the queen g2.
And b2 is hanging, yeah.
So once again, nice
c1.
move, queen c1. And he simply has to take, because if he avoids the queen trade, my king is safe. I have rook c8 check, and this is very good. So he takes. King f8, logical move, trying to bring the king to the endgame. But now this h6 pawn is very nice.
Pretty scary for black, yeah?
Yeah, so as you said, AlphaZero taught us that h6 is good.
Yes.
But it's not only to have a checkmate on g7, but it's also for the endgame.
As we saw in the game, yeah.
Yeah, so
But now you started to feel confident, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, also, because I'm very close to move 40.
New time, yeah?
Yeah, so you have, less than 2 minutes.
Yes.
Get some extra time and.
Yeah. But you defended very well before, and now you have this rook endgame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed. So he still kept pushing, and now I reached move 40.
Yeah.
Well, I have to give the check, and this is an important moment for him because if he plays king e7, I can go to h8, but it's a less good version. So I can, if I want, just give the perpetual.
Yes.
So
it was also a very important moment for you because
for him because
but also
for both
because,
because otherwise it's a draw. I think I would have made it.
And now
I can also play for a win. So maybe he's over pushing a bit.
So he was just losing a tempo because f7 is hanging in all these lines, correct. I think he got this pawn to check, went to
king e3.
And next you take on h7, f7 is hanging, and you win one move in comparison to king e7. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, so he played king e6. Very logical. And now we have a bit of a unusual rook endgame, I think.
True.
I think it's just logical to play the rook move.
Yeah.
So he had to go
behind the pawn, okay.
Indeed. And now I had I think once again important move, which was rook f8.
Yeah, very strong move, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, because it's basically paralyzing black a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, his intention is to bring the king, take the pawn. but after rook f8, I can always take on
f7 and then go h7.
Yeah, and this rook can never leave the h file because then I'm simply promoting.
Yeah.
And here I think he made a decisive mistake by playing a4.
The last one, okay.
So I played b4. Now I have a pass pawn, and he can never take it.
Just the last one with your b pawn because he can never take. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So he took en passant. He played king e7. But now, I have just 2 pawns running, and the king and rook, at least the rook can't defend both, and the king wants to protect this pawn. But
and the black d pawn is not that dangerous like your pawns.
No, not at all. So rook a8, d5, b4. I thought that king d6 was a bit tougher, but he played king d7. So now I could simply push. He played rook h5, which is a smart move. I mean, in some cases he can take on g5 and go back. If my rook leaves the
8th rank,
the 8th rank. So I gave check. I took the pawn, and now I had a nice move b6.
Okay.
So
threatening b7. So
he has to take.
And then you get with checks this g6 pawn.
Yeah. And then we have like the final phase, because those 2 pawns are
much more advanced than his pawns.
And should be winning, but still there are some threats. So what's the best way to avoid counterplay?
Yes.
And I think I did quite a good job. I played king f2. And he played e4.
Okay.
And now after exchanging it.
Yes, one passer, but you have 2 pass pawns, and
and this pawn is less dangerous.
Yes.
But still he has some ideas to, let's say, bring the king to f5.
All right.
And it can still be a little bit annoying sometimes.
Okay.
I also have the possibility to, let's say, put the rook here and play g6. So I can always go for some
queen against
rook and pawn. It should be winning. But it's still a lot of technique.
That's a lot of work to do, but you found a better way.
Yeah, so I just brought the king. And again, bringing the king to the pawns.
And then going up,
And now simply, at some point, giving up my rook. And promoting. So he pushed. He gave some checks.
No, it was completely winning,
Yeah, and after g6, he resigned, I believe. No. He played.
Okay,
now he resigned.
Okay, that's the point.
But his point was maybe to go here, but then I queen, and after his queen, I win his queen. So
you are talking about it pretty cool. But did you get nervous during the game in the final phase of the game?
Yeah, a bit. I have to say I was more nervous before.
Okay.
I already had a couple of moments before in other tournaments where I could win a big tournament.
Okay.
And in all cases, I didn't manage to.
Okay.
So I don't know how, but at some point I decided just to care a bit less maybe and believe I can do it and just go for it. So somehow, I had more confidence this time. And
that's good,
one of the mistakes I made in the past was that I played too slow. So then it was winning, but then with, let's say, 1 minute...
Double checking everything and then getting into time trouble, okay.
Exactly, and then messing it up. But this time I still had enough time and I knew that it's important to keep the pace.
Okay.
So,
Massive achievement, congrats again and enjoy the evening.
You.
Thank you.